Here at the Chrysler Museum Glass Studio, we have an amazing facility, state-of-the-art, for our students to work in. And so we have a glass program where you can get a major in glass through our 3D Media and Material Studies program. Students get to work in this facility off campus, but we have all the different ways of working with glass here. It's a wonderful program, so we're gonna show you a little bit about that. Hi, I'm Julia Rogers. I'm an adjunct professor with Old Dominion University, and I teach our glass classes. I actually run the program here, and we do all of our glass programming at the Chrysler Museum Glass Studio. If you want to take a look, we have a beautiful new space. This is the Meredith Hot Shop Amphitheater. This space is perfect for working in, and also for the public to come and try classes. We also have events here where people can watch. We do our noon demonstrations here. In fact, one of our ODU students, Lorelei Messenheimer, just did our noon demonstration for the public from 12 to 1. She was formerly an ODU student, and she's now part of our assistantship program. This is where people come with usually a degree in glass already, and then they spend 6 months to a year with us, and they do everything in the studio from our daily demos, helping us TA classes. They work on their own artwork and have a show at the museum at the end of their assistantship. So it's a great professional stepping stone opportunity for our ODU students and other people from all over the world to come and do it. In our Meredith Amphitheater shop, we have a furnace full of molten glass. This is 560 pounds in this shop, and it's at 2,150 degrees. So this is where we do glass blowing. In this shop, we also have color pots. So this is a rare treat where we melt color straight in these furnaces instead of clear like you usually have, adding the color separately. We can just pull hot color, molten color right out of the furnace. I'll just take a steel pipe here real quick and show you that. So in this furnace, we have the green glass. You can see if I stop turning, the glass just wants to drip. And I don't have any tools out right now to show you anything else, but you can see it looked bright orange, and as it cools, it's starting to turn green because that's our green glass in there. I mean, this is where the pipe is inside the glass, and that's why it's still orange. Normally you wouldn't have the glass go that far up on the pipe, but we can dip down in there and see how full our pot is by going in a little deeper. We have our Glass After Dark events. We usually have band playing up here. That's the other thing that's so great about this theater space is the sound is phenomenal in here. So it's a really great time to have the lighting, the theater sound and lighting, and a band playing. I would love to collaborate with the performing art theaters at our universities that we're partnering with, like ODU, and do some kind of collaborative performance with hot glass and theater would be great in this space. This is our visiting artists that come through, work with the students. They leave a piece behind and we get to display it. These are world-renowned artists that share their skills, their techniques, and inspire the students as well. And then this space here is our classroom. So we can do presentations in here, teaching, talking about artists and all that, but we can also do flat glass up here. So flat glass is where we take sheets of glass and we cut them up into different patterns, and then we can fuse the glass together to make something like this platter. We can also make stained glass up here. Any stained glass pieces? Huh. Don't see any stained glass samples, but oh, here's one. Here's a piece of stained glass. So we can cut the flat glass up and put it back together with solder and make stained glass pieces as well. here we have our wood shop. This allows us to build pedestals and do any kind of woodworking we need for our projects. It's not necessarily a space that we're teaching wood making. You can do that at ODU with our professors like John Ruff, who teaches woodworking. This is just kind of an auxiliary studio for us to make things like pedestals and extra kind of stuff like that that we might need. We then have our metal shop, which is also kind of the same thing. Maybe you need to make a metal stand. We have that available to make metal stands and fabricate some metal. Again, maybe not something you're teaching a metals class, but the staff here might need to build some equipment. We also, in this space, we have kilns where we can fuse the glass or cast glass. If you look inside this kiln, you can see, oh, this is actually pretty cool. The studio assistants get to do these technical sessions where they learn new ways of working with glass. This is where you actually use powder glass color on the glass and melt it by making stencils. So you can see some of these cool little test pieces that they're doing for their first time doing what we call powder printing. All right, so we're really excited about our renovated side over here. Our original hot glass studio has been renovated, and this is the perfect place for our ODU students to really focus on their work, because it's only for students and not for the public to come in without those distractions from the public. They can really focus. We have a part of our donor wall over here, some work of our staff on the left and our studio assistants. So we have an assistantship program that ODU students can do after they graduate, where they spend 6 months with us here and they do training in the museum setting. They get to make their own artwork as well as work on their professional career with us. So come on here and check this out. So we call this the Pyramid Hot Shop, and that's because we have the architecture here. This was the original studio. And we have our 3 workstations in the front that we always had, but we also have 2 more on the back side. So if you come on over here, you can see those. So glass blowing can happen on this side of the studio as well. So we have 5 workstations, allowing more time for the students to focus on the hot glass. This is the furnace in our Pyramid Hot Shop. It holds 760 pounds of molten glass. This is larger than the furnace we had before, which allows us to work longer in the studio. And then you can see we have a variety of kilns over here. We have all of our annealing ovens over here. So when the students make their work, it goes into that kiln so that it can cool down slowly so the glass doesn't break. And we even have nice kilns for doing flat glass work. This is called our clamshell. We can load that up for fused and stained, or fused glass and slumped glass. And then in here we have the flame shop for flame working. So when you take the intro class at ODU, the first class you take, you get to try 3 different processes. So usually you might do flame working, where we melt cold rods in front of a flame torch and turn it into sculptural or wearable objects. Or we may work in the hot glass studio. We definitely always, every semester, do the hot glass. That's what people think of when they think of glass making. They think of glass blowing. So you'll get to try that your first semester as well. And then as you progress into the upper levels, you can kind of find the focus where you want to study mostly.